If you could see me right now, I'm battling my microphone stand. All right, there we go. I just had to say it. You know, sometimes you just got to gripe about something and then it fixes itself. So good morning, Monday morning. Here we are. It's kind of muggy out today. It looks like fall, but it's like giving summer humidity. You gotta love it. Southern Illinois. We like to do it all. We like to do it all at once, you know. I have an awesome guest in here with me today, but before I announce who that is, I'm gonna give some announcements of some other things going on in town. So make sure that you set an alarm for Wednesday morning so you can get up and give what you can to SIU for the SIU Day of Giving. They are doing a live stream. It's a fun, almost like a telethon, you know, 21st century telethon. There'll be a live stream going on, talking to folks from SIU. And this is a chance for alumni, community members, friends, families, near and far, to give back what you potentially can to SIU. They give so much to our community, you know, really enrich the lives of students and teachers and everyone who surrounds them. So yeah, tune into that. You can find that on check out SIU Foundation Facebook page. If you just look up SIU Day of Giving, you'll find all the info you need so that you can give back to the wonderful university we have housed here in Carbondale. September 21st, there is an incredibly fun event going on at the Varsity Center in downtown Carbondale. It is a Pianopalooza. So this is a fundraiser event for WDBX, the radio station that you are listening to in this very moment, in the Varsity Center. So have some awesome pianists from around the region playing at this, so make sure to check it out. Don't miss this one. You can get tickets in advance for $15, or you can get tickets for $20 at the door. So make sure to check that out. Pianopalooza 2, the second one, September 21st, 7 to 10 p.m. at the Varsity Center. Super excited about that. And wanted to let y'all know, you know, we have had our Off the Rails concert series rolling. We have had the first 3 concerts, which have been amazing. And then the next 3, they're not just concerts. Each one coming up also has a special event with it. So the next one is going to be on September 28th and is part of the Hemp, Hops, and Shrooms Festival. So this kicks off at 3 p.m. It will run to 10 p.m. There will be amazing presentations and demos from folks from SIU and knowledgeable folks who forage and cook with mushrooms and all sorts of things. So really exciting stuff. September 28th, Hemp, Hops, and Shrooms. Then the next concert after that on October 11th is a very special homecoming concert that we're throwing with the SIU Alumni Association and River Radio, and we are shutting down the Strip for this concert. So instead of it being in its regular location over there by the railroad tracks, it's going to be right in the heart of downtown. So this is going to be an event you do not want to miss. It's going to be absolutely iconic. So come on out October 11th, shutting down the Strip for the homecoming concert. And then after that will be our Halloween concert on October 26th. And there are Halloween events just really all month. You know how we do Carbondale Halloween. We go big, we go long. It's going to be a blast. And if you are interested in vending for any of these, we are still accepting vendors for all of these events. So you can visit CarbondaleMainStreet.com, visit our Facebook page, Carbondale IL Tourism, and you will find info on all those places on how you can become a vendor and join these parties. Parties of a lifetime, just one right after the other, you know it? All right, and now, talking about partying nonstop.
Let's do it.
I've got Brian
We're
Croft in the house.
Yep.
Yes, Director of Touch of Nature Outdoor Education Center. How are you today?
I'm doing well. It's hard for me to turn off my camp brain, so whenever someone says the word announcements, I go into like summer camp mode, where I'm like, announcements. So anyway, so it's hard to be an adult.
Yeah, it is hard to be an adult sometimes.
Especially on Mondays.
Yeah.
Adulting is hard. So we're going to give everybody permission to just not be an adult today.
Perfect.
Just
all right.
everyone go be a camper.
Yeah, get out there and play.
Yeah,
go camp.
play, sing songs.
Yeah, just
do what you got to do.
Roam around the woods.
Yep,
I know that's something you would always encourage. Hey, and I know out there at Touch of Nature, you have lots of incredible opportunities to get people out there in the woods.
We do.
Out there in the forest. Plenty of events to help people feel like a kid again.
It's so
crazy. For those
crazy.
Mondays that are super hard, we got stuff to put on your weekend calendar.
That's right. Well,
so that you can feel like a kid again.
It's crazy because people come up to me all the time and they say, "Oh, is it your busy season?" And I go, they're all busy.
Yeah.
And that's as we joke that it's a really good thing. But the cool thing about Touch is that it's very seasonal, right? So we are right now into what I call sort of our fall family community event section, right? And so with that, we've got so many things open to the community. So at our core, Touch is about getting people outside.
Right.
As crazy as this is to believe, we believe that outdoor experiences make people happy and healthy. And so our job is to just design programs around that. So sometimes it's community, sometimes it's for school groups, sometimes it's for the college folks. And so really the fall, we really focus a lot on community programs. And we have a ton coming up. So we're booked, but that's a good thing. So we actually just got done with a really cool program. It's a partnership with SIH actually. It's called Camp Beta, and it's our camp for kiddos with type 1 diabetes. And so a lot of times people don't, there's type 1 and type 2, and everyone's kind of familiar with type 2, right? And that's sort of more of a sugar imbalance, whereas type 1 is more of an insulin imbalance. And so we partner and we provided these, we basically adapt what we do with our traditional kiddos, but we brought in nurses from all over, and they traveled, and we're checking insulin levels throughout, but then they're getting to go rock climbing and canoeing and kayaking and everything else. So that was, we just did that 2 weekends ago, which is great. And then we're actually gearing up, it's family weekend coming up at SIU, and so we actually, we kind of look at our role in family programming for the university is, all these families come back and they experience Carbondale and they experience SIU, but we really want to open up like Southern Illinois, especially the outdoor piece. So we actually have on Friday, we're opening it up for families to sign up, and we'll take you rock climbing in Giant City, which is super cool. Friday night, we're going to do kind of a moonlight paddle with a hot dog roast and maybe some s'mores. I always say if it's been 12 months since you've had a s'more, like it's done.
Yeah.
Right?
You have to meet your annual s'more
annual
quota.
s'more intake, especially in the fall season.
Yes.
And then actually Saturday, we still got spots available. We're doing a Rocky Ledges 5K, 10K actually. So we have a race going out that's a touch of nature, and we're still doing signups, and so a real family-friendly kind of event. So that's just this weekend coming up, and that's all of the other stuff.
Yes, just this weekend.
Yeah, just this weekend we do that, and then we actually go. In another couple weeks, we've got BOW, which is Becoming an Outdoor Woman. It's a partnership with IPR, and it's basically encouraging women to come out and enjoy the outdoors. And they have all kinds of workshops, everything from fire building to archery to climbing to everything. Right?
Yes.
So that's coming up at the beginning of October, and then I'm a little bit biased, but then we've got Little Grass to Get Down.
Yes, I'm biased on that one too.
And it really is, so this is our third year of Little Grass to Get Down. And we kind of joke, the first year you're just like, hey, let's try this.
Yeah.
We kind of know what we're doing, you know? So we put on a festival, went great. And then the second year was like, okay, how can we replicate it? But this year it really feels like it's becoming a tradition. You know, people just, it's always on Columbus Day weekend. We put it on this, and we have such a great group of folks. And it's kind of exciting. It's the same weekend as homecoming this year, which originally I was a little bit worried about, but in actuality, it's such a great way to highlight sort of everything the university, with Touch of Nature being part of it, offers. And so we actually have people that are camping in Touch of Nature, and then they're going to come Friday night and do the strip. They're going to go to the game, and then Saturday night we're excited. We've got Woodbox Gang coming out on Saturday night. And they'll put on an incredible show. But the entire lineup is amazing. Yeah. And I've grown up as a quasi musician. I've been to a lot of festivals, and so it was imperative for us to put on a festival that was family friendly. Like that I can bring my mom and I can bring my son, and everyone's going to have a really good time. And that was really, and that's kind of the feel that we're going for. And I think that we've pulled off the first couple of years for Little Grass to Get Down. Like you can still, obviously, the music is great, but there's kid events. Actually, kids 15 and under get in for free. We've actually done discounts. We've worked with the Alumni Association, so there's an SIU alumni code. So if you go to the Alumni Association's website, and if you bring your ticket from the football game Saturday night, there's actually a discount that just show them your ticket, and just for the Saturday night show. We'll be like,
Incredible.
take some money off.
Yes, I love all that collaboration and making sure that everyone can get the most out of that weekend and out of their SIU alumni experience and their family experience. And what I love, like, because I've been at Little Grassy Get Down. This will be my 3rd year at it, you know, and I love it because it is so family friendly, but it's not an event that, like, it's still so fun for someone who is like a millennial without kids, you know? And like, so don't feel like, oh, it's gonna just be, no, it just really is so enjoyable and accessible for everybody.
Yep. And that's really what we're about. And in fact, when we got into, you know, we started this festival and the staff and I got together, and so our mission is to enhance the lives of all people through outdoor experiences, right? And so we said, well, does this meet our mission? And to me, if we can get people having an enjoyable experience in the outdoors, like, that's exactly what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so it's been great. It's been fun to watch it grow, and super excited about the 3rd year coming on.
Yeah.
And then we turn around right after that and we go into actually Haunted Hollow. We've been doing Haunted Hollow now for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And so that's it's the Saturday before. I want to say it's the 22nd. And so that really is again a family event, 11 to 4, and it's important for us. Like, it's free. It's a free event. Now it's kind of like a carnival. There's like certain activities that they're like a ticket or 2 tickets.
Okay.
But there is also, we work with University Honor students and we put on free activities as well. So, or you can just come out and hike around.
Yeah.
So really it's bring the whole family and come out, and really it's kind of one of those Halloween events where, again, you can bring grandma or you can bring your kid or you can just come, you know, and just enjoy the beautiful trails. And there's nothing better than Southern Illinois.
It's so true.
It's I just want to wear shorts and a sweatshirt.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
once we get there, like, that's it.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, and then we follow that up. The last weekend we've got we've got the Buffalo Trail coming up in November. Oh, and we've got the Spooky Catalyst race.
Okay.
So any mountain bikers that are out there, the last weekend in October, we're doing a Halloween themed bike race.
Nice.
We'll follow up with 2. We host the largest hunt. We call it our inclusive hunt, but the largest hunt for people with disabilities in the state.
Amazing.
So we do that the first 2 weeks of November, and then we've got the Buffalo Trail, which if you've not gone to the Buffalo Trail, a lot of people think it's like this really fancy fundraiser. It's not. It's like an adult campfire, but as opposed to hot dogs, we cook steaks, but we literally throw them on the coals right in front of
Yeah.
you. And we tell stories, and local musicians come out and play. It's just a lot of fun.
Amazing. Can you tell me a little bit more of the origins of that event? Because that's something that's been going on for a long time.
Yeah,
right?
so the Buffalo Trail, so back in the day, I'm always that Touch of Nature story. So when Touch of Nature started, it was sort of the pet project of Dwight Morris, right? And he basically realized that in Southern Illinois we had this thing. We had this incredible access to the outdoors. He also firmly believed in experiential learning. So Touch of Nature was actually started, every student that was studying something at SIU, they were going to basically apply that learning outside of the classroom at Touch of Nature. So for example, if you were an education major, you worked in a counselor. If you were a culinary major, you worked in the dining hall. If you were a forestry major, you worked on the forestry management plan. And his idea was, it's fully developing our students, so not only are they learning in the classroom, but they're applying it. And then also, it's supplying the Southern Illinois region with these incredible programming opportunities, right? So when he decided he wanted to build an outdoor ed center, he said, well, who is the best? And this is the way he operated. And it was a guy named L.B. Sharp. And L.B. Sharp was running camps out of New York back then with actually youth that couldn't afford it and youth that never experienced outdoors. And so he kind of created these life camps that were sponsored out of the magazine. And so he came here, and with him he brought this tradition called the Buffalo Trail. And it's kind of, obviously it's a dinner, but we always talk about like it's such a cool programming opportunity. And so he would do things that was really cute. He would kind of talk about the traditions of how we learned from the indigenous populations and how they would cook meat and things like that. But he would joke that, to be able to eat, the meat, our stomachs, you know, because we're too civilized, we hadn't spent enough time in the woods, weren't ready, so we had to take a special pill. And he would go and give each kid this pill, and they had to take it. It was an M&M, and they would eat the M&Ms, and then they were able to eat the meat. But it's kind of encouraging people to just have those moments in the outdoors, and there's something about like a campfire and sitting around a campfire with people. And so really kind of we started it last year. For a while we kind of turned it into a fancy thing. We wore a suit to the Buffalo Trail, and we were like, this isn't what it's supposed to be. Like, it's supposed to be shorts and a flannel shirt, a sweatshirt and a blanket, and then sitting around listening to people tell stories around a campfire. And how cool is that?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that that evolution of it. You know, like, all right, it's roots, it's tradition, it's just being in the woods, and then, you know, oh, it's this fundraiser, we gotta get fancy, and no, we don't need to put all that societal snazziness on it, you know?
And that's, we talk about that a lot, like,
take it back to the woods.
Be who we are, and we are a rustic camp, and I think everyone, you know, in a very polarizing time, right? I think the one thing that most people can agree on is quality time spent outdoors is good for us as a society. Regardless of where you are politically, like, that's the cool thing about what I get to do, is that we can all agree that most people would benefit from more outdoor experiences.
Absolutely.
And so how do we do that? And that's what I get to do.
And it's so empowering, and it makes people feel independent. It makes you feel calm. It makes you feel excited. You get like zen and adrenaline pumping anytime you spend time in the woods.
The research is there, and I'll spare. That's a whole nother episode we could do about the research about what happens to your brain and your body when you're exposed to the outdoors. The research is there. So now our job, and it's really Touch of Nature's history, is creating programs that address barriers. Right? So why aren't people going outside? And so when Touch started, we really focused on folks with mobility issues or cognitive impairments, and we took outdoor experiences and then we adapted them. So same thing with Camp Beta, right? We're still doing it today. We're finding populations that might not be able to get outside, and then how can we adapt the program so that they can? And same thing with families. Sometimes adapting it is just making it inexpensive, or addressing transportation issues, or those kind of things. But that's really what we're all about.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I love all the things you do. And Brian, tell me just about how one can immerse themselves in nature, like at Touch of Nature, if there isn't a specific event going on.
So that used to be the thing, right? We were like, come to Touch of Nature, and people were like, okay, what can we do? And we're like, well, nothing. Get 14 of your friends, and then we'll, you know. So one of the things I'm really excited about is sort of the community trails that we're building, right? And so for those people who don't know, we actually received a grant from IDNR to build what ended up being about 10 miles. We built 2 miles since then by hand, which is a lot slower. So we got about 12 miles of multi-use trails. And so, and we're actually we got a great donation from SIU Credit Union. Shout out to SIU Credit Union. They built a beautiful bathroom and a pavilion. And so we're really trying to create just a community space where, regardless of if Touch has programming going on or not, there's a place for people to go and just experience the outdoors. I mean, the research is there, just go sit outside. I mean, I think it's 10 minutes outside, and what that does cognitively to our brains from a de-stressing level, not to mention just the physical benefits of just having outdoor experiences and things like that. So we always say, like, look out for the free community events, but also if you have a group, like if you have a school group, if you have a church group, whatever, we do retreats, and so you can just rent a cabin. We can do food for you. You can bring your own food, whatever, and just kind of, sometimes it's just the space of just being outside and just staying in the outdoors, and it just does something to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I love it so much. It's all too much fun. And yeah, we really are so lucky to be in a place where that nature is accessible all around us.
Yes, it's what we've got going. I talk a lot in circles about, we are the perfect blend of access and affordability, right? If you look at the access that we have from where we're sitting right now, we can go hiking, canoeing, kayaking, paddling, mountain biking, rock climbing. Even if you're into rivers, Missouri's only 2 hours away. There is not another place that I can think of where the access is there, but the affordability is there. And I know that affordability is very much a unique personal thing to people.
Sure.
But when you look at quote unquote outdoorsy towns, Bend, Oregon, Chattanooga, Tennessee, all of these places, even in Bentonville, right? It's becoming more and more expensive to live there because people realize how valuable it is to live in a place that has outdoor access. And so we are that perfect blend of access and affordability.
Yeah.
And I really want us to take advantage of that. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But sometimes it's hard because, and that's kind of what our job to do is. A lot of times we assume because the access is so easy. Giant City's just right down the road and it's free, so you know people should go to it. But there are other barriers. Transportation is a barrier, or even hey, I don't feel comfortable in the outdoors, and so for me, I would be extremely comfortable going to Giant City and hiking. But for some people, like that's way too much too fast.
Right.
So I encourage you all to reach out to Touch of Nature, even if it's like hey, me and my family. Or in this group, like we know we want to do something outdoorsy, but we don't know where to start, or we don't have the equipment. You can rent through our partnership with the rec center. You can rent canoes, kayaks, sleeping bags, tents, everything. So really, our job is just addressing barriers and then doing our best to help people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, one important thing to do. I'm just I'm so excited for all these events coming up. What one is at the top of your list?
I knew you were going to answer that. And so it's hard. Given sort of my musical background, like I do love Little Grassy Good Town.
Yeah.
Haunted Hollow always has a special place in my heart. I remember the first Haunted Hollow that we did. I was still a student at SIU. I was a student worker at Touch of Nature when we sort of piloted it, and I think we had like 50 or 60 people show up, and we thought that was huge.
Yeah.
And so now to see hundreds of people show up, like that's really cool.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Buffalo Trow. It's hard to not sit in the Buffalo Trow and not have this sense of like this historical thing. And for me as the director, sort of kind of places me in the we're following in the footsteps of people that that brought this here. I've just been around for over 70 years, and
that's
so
awesome.
it's hard to not feel a part of that history. And I get the goosebumps.
Yeah, or this timeless thread.
Very much so.
Yeah, I love it.
And so the fall is just my favorite.
Yeah,
I love it.
All of them.
Anytime,
Top answer, all of them.
And I can, I dress up. I'm the goofy guy that dresses up for Halloween. And I take Halloween way too seriously.
Yeah.
Like if you know where I live, you'll know where I live when you drive by. Like, that must be Brian's house. My wife put me on we have a Halloween budget because it got a little ridiculous last year. It was a problem.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I gotta, keep it in check, for sure.
I go, the kids, they're fine. They don't, college is way down the road. That's, a college fund not nearly as important as another, it's a 12-foot inflatable skeleton.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's what the kids really need.
That's what they need.
Yes.
It could be part of their inheritance one day,
And I'm sorry we can't afford college, but here's a really cool skeleton. You're welcome.
Absolutely, I love it. Do your kids, are they nature fanatics?
Oh, and yes, we actually just spent the weekend. I started at Touch of Nature, and then actually went and worked at Camp Ondesan, for those of people that know Camp Ondesan. And they actually had their fall family camp this weekend.
Okay.
And so I took my oldest, he's 8, and we hiked and we paddled and we rode horses and we went rock climbing and we had way too many s'mores.
Yeah.
There's something about camping where it's like, you do need a third s'more.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely you do. And then it's weird that you're not ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
That's weird how science works like that. My kids, they love the outdoors, and we're outside, as much as we can be.
Yeah. Oh, how fantastic. I love it. I know I am, Brian was asking me about, I have a nice broken foot right now.
Yeah, that's...
And not an ideal time, but, once again, we live in this place. I mean, even just here in town, there's so many trees, there's so many ways I've been able to get my nature fix. My partner's been kind enough to push me around in a borrowed wheelchair out the Crab Orchard Causeway in various places.
And that's also the cool thing about Southern Illinois is that, like, the outdoors is it's a unique thing to you, right, and to me. And so for me, I mean, look at our campus. Like, we have one of the most beautiful campuses, and
A designated
it's
tree
very
campus.
thematic. Like it is that we are embracing the outdoors.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you walk through Thompson Woods to get
Yeah.
from class to class. Like I've worked at other universities that are beautiful, but they're beautiful in different ways.
Mhm.
The architecture and the buildings, and we really have embraced sort of the beauty of nature, and we kind of bring that in.
Yeah.
So whether it's just walking on campus, whether it's Cedar Lake, whether it's the Shawnee National Forest, whether it's the state parks, the refuge. I mean, wherever you're at with your comfortability in nature, there's an outdoor space
Yes.
for you.
Yeah.
And how cool
Absolutely.
is that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it is. It's easy to build up. Take a hike on one of the greener trails
Yes.
in town, and then get comfortable with that, and
Yep.
then maybe venture out to Giant
Yep.
City, and then go deeper into your
Yep.
next spot.
And we've been doing I've been doing a lot of cool work with SI Now, the group, about
Mm-hmm.
how do we continue to address these barriers. And one of the issues that we're running into is that the access is there, but now we're trying to figure out, well, how do we, we don't have a lot of guides, we don't have a lot of that kind of stuff. So
Mhm.
encouraging people also to think about, like, not only just going outside yourself, think about taking other people.
Yeah.
If anyone's interested in starting a business, like, start a local guiding business. I think
Yeah.
it would do extremely well in Southern
Yeah.
Illinois. I can't do it, but
Yeah.
I would be glad to help if anyone is interested.
Help facilitate, help
Uh-huh.
promote.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. Yeah, there are some, we got a hiking with Sean. He's
Yep.
an awesome guide
Oh,
out there,
yeah.
and just an awesome resource of helping people figure out where is best to go for
Yes.
them.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is there's so many options. I mean, we have, I'm going to say it wrong, I think we have 7. We have 7 designated wilderness areas just in Southern Illinois, and that's just designated wilderness areas.
Yeah.
That's not the Shawnee, and then Crab, and then all of the state parks, and all of the natural areas, and that's not including community parks and other things. Like, it really
Yeah.
is incredible how much outdoors we have here.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of mind blowing. I've, not full on lived, but my sister has lived in Oregon and Colorado, these other big places, and I lived in Virginia for a while. And anytime I was in those places, it just kind of made me miss home. Because there's these other different types of diverse nature you can immerse in, but there'd always be something that would remind me of Southern Illinois, and I just think, oh, I can't wait to get back to Southern Illinois.
Well, we'll use rock climbing, for example. So when I talk about access, it's not even how close it is, but so there are certain climbs that I've done in like Kentucky and others. The climbing is amazing, but you park the car and you walk 45 minutes to the
Mhm.
place you're climbing, right?
Sure.
Whereas here, it's like, go to Giant City, for example. You literally park your car, the bathroom is right there, and the rock climb is right
Yeah,
there. So
right.
that access goes even, it's more than just even how the proximity of the location.
Yeah.
It's right there. I mean, it's I can bring my 4-year-old or 5-year-old, out there, and it's not like, okay, how are you going to handle an hour hike in, and like, what if you have to go to the bathroom? So
Yeah.
the amenities are incredible as well.
Yeah, and short drives too.
Oh my God.
Drive to a greener trail in town, you're right there,
Yep.
a few minutes away.
Yep.
To your Cedar Lake, you're 10
Yep,
minutes
top
down
and
the road
bottoms,
from
I mean,
it.
it's all right there.
Yeah, we've been saying like the path starts here
Yep.
in Carbondale. Get your snacks from the co-op, get some
Yep.
gear from Shawnee Trail Outfitters,
Yep, get everything.
and then you're right there down the trail.
Get everything.
Come back in, eat,
Get-
see
yeah.
a concert.
Get your summit beers. I mean, we don't have a lot of summits, but we'll find something.
Yeah.
It's all there. And again, it's what my wife and I moved. We moved away from 2014 to 19. I worked at Indiana University, and I loved it there, but it was just something about Southern Illinois just
Mhm.
called me back.
Yep.
And the outdoors is a huge piece of that.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. Yeah, it is a good place to be. We're some lucky people, you and I,
We
Brian.
really are.
be right here.
And this is what this is a great way to start the week. Like this
Yeah.
affirmation of we're lucky.
We really are.
Yeah.
So if you were listening, that means you're tuned into local radio, so you're right here. And yes, take a moment to recognize how lucky we are to
And-
live in such a neat place.
And get outside. I tell people,
Outside.
take 10 minutes. Just
Yeah.
go on an outside walk. Like what it does to your brain, to your stress, to your physical peace. Like it's all there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Brian, thank you so much for coming on today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Informing us all of the amazing things going on at Touch of Nature. Make sure to check out, Little Grassy Get Down coming up, The Spooky Catalyst,
Yeah.
Haunted Hollow, all of it, man. So, yeah, like we said, take a moment to walk outside and remember how lucky you are.
That's right.
All right, well, thanks so much,
Thank
Brian.
you.
I'll catch you later.